Hi, I'm Sharon.
Hi, I am Rich, better known as the Yarn Boy.
And I'm Pork Chop.
We know who you are. Go sit down. You're not in this show.
Oh.
It's a short show. We don't need short sheep. Goodbye.
Oh, poor Pork Chop. You've been usurped.
So my name is Sharon Blatz, and I am a retired speech-language pathologist. I used to work in the schools, and I've been retired about a year. So in order to supplement my retirement income, I decided to start a business. So I've been dyeing yarn and selling it on the internet for about 2 years now. So back in 2007, I was just really a beginner knitter. I had been knitting all my life but had never really made anything. I went by a yarn shop and went in and they were offering classes. So I started to take classes and I picked up knitting skills very quickly, and in about 2 years I was actually teaching knitting classes at that same shop. So I kept knitting maybe 5 more years, getting better and better, and I met a lot of people on social media. And one of my friends that I met, her name is Kristen, and she had started a yarn dyeing business out of Brooklyn, New York in probably 2013. And she inspired me to start my own yarn dyeing business. What I like about knitting is that it's very relaxing. I'm never bored, ever. I can always pick up my knitting and, really produce something and be entertained at the same time. And it really is a calming effect. When you go through difficult times in your life, you can always pick up your knitting and it always makes you feel better. Work does go into dyeing a skein of yarn. First, you have to have an idea of what colorway you want to use. And I use a lot of pop culture references. Like right now I'm doing a line of Harry Potter yarn. And then you just think of colors that kind of match that aesthetic. And then you kind of have to have a fairly good sense of color and what colors are going to do when they mix in the pot. And then you plan out the different types of colors you're going to use. And then you have to make sure that your skeins of yarn are tied properly. You have to soak them. You have to lift a lot of water. Dyeing requires heat, so you need a heat source. And once the yarns are soaked, you put them in the pot or the pan and apply your color with other chemicals in order for the colors to stick. And after that's done and all the colors on the yarn, you have to take the yarn out and wash it, spin it. I have an automatic spinner that takes all the water out, and then it dries overnight. Then after that, you have to put it into a nice presentation. So I skein my yarn with an automatic yarn skeiner. So yeah, it takes a good bit of thought processes as well as hard physical work. I actually started making media content in 2012. I started out with an audio podcast when podcasting was kind of hot at that time. And I uploaded my podcasts on iTunes, and they were mainly about knitting. I did that for 4 years, pretty much weekly, and I really enjoyed doing that. But then a lot of my colleagues or knitting friends were creating content on YouTube. I resisted it at first, but I soon realized that knitting is really a visual art, and it would be more fun to show my finished objects and yarn on video rather than talking about it on audio. My YouTube channel is called Knit Style. My business is called Knit Style Yarns. If you're interested in the YouTube channel, you'd have to be interested in knitting. Also, there's a lot of couples comedy involved in that channel, and I think people who don't knit sometimes watch it. So knitstyleyarns.com and on YouTube, Knit Style.